All right. Welcome. Welcome back, all you loyal Point Three listeners. I don't know if I'm going to make it through this entire live with this Captain America mask. I tried so hard just for, it's October 30th, right? Halloween is tomorrow. So I was
Yeah,
like, you know what? Let me mask up. Let me mask up.
like the symbol on your mask though. A for effort, because
Hey,
we didn't expect that to happen. You popped into the studio and I was like, oh, we got Cap, the
yeah.
Cap, the Captain America,
The
the Captain America.
Listen, we're vibing over here. Spider Brandon, how
Feel
you feeling?
underdressed. Oh, I feel great. My internet might not be so great, but I think I just reset my router and things should be good again.
Yeah,
So,
You
I hope
sound
everyone
good.
liked the intro.
You look good as always. Give
I
us a
know.
little shout out of the shirt. What do we got going on? What are we working with over there?
Oh, we got IRL point 0.3 logo
Ooh.
on a shirt
Ooh.
or a
Ooh.
0.3 shirt.
Ooh. Ooh. Who wants some merch?
Sweet.
Ooh.
I just gave some more merch away to some IRLs the other day, so that was cool.
Listen, if you guys want the plug, Spider Brando is the man with the plan.
If there's a
Also,
demand, we will
there's a demand.
supply.
That's very true. That is very true. But listen, everyone, we are pumped to have you join us once again. I am Lou alongside Spider Brando and, of course, Hero Scroll. We are your favorite trio of hosts. Today, we're going to be talking about the latest superhero news and notes from the past week. Plus, we're chatting about the MCU, a little bit about the DCU, but mostly what Marvel Studios television and animation was given us with the release order that dropped for 2025. That is going to be our deep dive today. So definitely join along with us. Drop your comments in the chat if you are watching live. If you are watching this after our live stream has ended, you absolutely can participate. Let us know which project you are looking forward to the most. But excuse me, I'm tongue tied already. I'm excited for this live. Like, I'm ready to get into the deep dive, but let's not waste any more time. Spider Brando, it's time to share the three most important things that we mention every week.
Keep watching, keep reading, and keep nerding out. And I'm starting out with keep watching. We got Agatha 2-episode finale tonight, and I'm excited for it just to see how it all finally wraps up and if this show was a total waste of time or not. It's really got 2 episodes to decide its fate because it's planted some seeds throughout the rest of the episodes. I can't talk right now. Throughout the rest of the episodes,
Hero, you're screwed.
that could be cool or could just be like a total waste of time. So
Fair enough.
I'm
It's
excited
crazy.
though, nonetheless.
It's crazy because by the end of this live, we'll probably know some spoilers, right? Like as of 14 minutes ago,
Yeah.
it just dropped. So
That is true. Stay away from the interwebs.
I was about to say, stay off of the Twitter/X, stay off of TikTok, stay off of Instagram. Don't look at your phone. If you are remotely interested in Agatha, definitely just go ahead and, once you're done watching us, once we finish, because we are much more important,
Priority.
then go watch Agatha.
With
Have
me
fun
in
with it.
Discord.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, impromptu. I didn't know this, but yeah, we're.
Ooh. Yeah, why not?
Oh,
I'm watching it tonight regardless. So I
Oh,
will
there.
100% be in there.
There we go.
Wow, right on time.
On time.
Whoever that is racing home.
That's whoever that was. Probably the same dude that it always is.
It's late work day, whatever. Yeah, so Agatha, exciting. We should be hearing some things. Definitely stay tuned to the Point 3 podcast because we have to talk about it. But in staying with the theme of today's deep dive, keep reading. Finally made it to phase 4 in our little Reign of MCU book, and does it start out hot, talking about James Gunn. And I was actually kind of surprised in this book that they went into kind of what he was supposed to be doing in this phase, taking over with the Guardians. Then we obviously know some stuff hit the fan. He stepped away. got a new job at DC Studios, the CEO. But he did drop an absolute banger of a finale in the MCU for Guardians 3. So it was very interesting to kind of see the takes and kind of the behind the scenes things that came out around that time. It really sounded like James Gunn wanted to be like the man, very similarly to how Joss Whedon was for Phase 2. Sounds like there were plans for that. And then Kevin Feige said, skirt, nah, we're not going to do it that way anymore because it didn't work out so well. And now I ask Kevin, did you get rid of yourself too? Anyways, scroll nerding out.
Yeah. So for me, it was something that we kind of talked about last week while I was away, but Absolute Wonder Woman #1. It's really good. Really, really good. I won't say too much in case you don't want it spoiled. But Diana does not grow up in Themyscira. He grows up very differently, has a different upbringing, but still becomes, in a way, Wonder Woman that we know and love. And it's really cool. Very similar, or not similar, but, you know, in terms of vibe to Absolute Batman, which is absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, Absolute Wonder Woman. The Absolute Universe in general so far has been super, super good. Next week, we do get Absolute Superman. So hopefully they go 3 for 3 in terms of their debut and however many more we get down the line. I know there's a couple announcements already, especially from NYCC a few weeks ago, but hopefully they keep that streak going.
Yeah. No, it's an absolutely fantastic time to be a comic fan between the Ultimate Universe and the Absolute Universe. It's just good stuff.
Yeah.
Very,
I
very
hate Ultimate Wolverine so bad.
Ultimate Wolverine.
Just looks...
His new Winter Soldier suit. I think there's a one shot coming out later this year. That's gonna kind of be a like 1 year in. I think it's what they're calling it, like Ultimate Universe 1 year in, and it's gonna give, from the solicitations I saw, kind of a recap, but also a glimpse as to what else they're gonna do with it. So yeah, it's still a good time to get into these characters. Like, I know Ultimate Spider-Man is like what, 11 issues in, but that's not that bad. That's very doable to catch up with. So yeah, if you're interested in like Ultimate Universe, DC, Marvel, these are good times to start getting into them because a lot of them are restarting right now. They're not restarting, but they're having new runs, new creative teams. And when you get a new creative team, it's always good to jump onto the books. For example, like I know we were talking about it, but Amazing Spider-Man, I think its run ended today. And then in two weeks, I think 2 or 3 weeks, comes out the new one. So yeah, good time to jump on.
Absolutely agree. Very good time. Really quick, before we get into the bulk of our MCU deep dive in news, head over to Discord. If you haven't joined us over there, definitely do so. We would love to have you all kind of get to know each other before 2025. Point Through Podcast has a lot of huge things coming for the end of the year. And a lot of it will be asking some Discord users their thoughts. So if you want to be involved with us, definitely hop in there, jump on any of our social medias, or just comment or message us, and we'll drop a link so that you can be a part of the Hall of Point 3. Quick news. DCU. Did you go? What? I want to know what you guys thought of this, because before we get into the good stuff, Quentin Tarantino said something very interesting that kind of sums up Joker 2. So spoiler for those of you who haven't seen it, but probably doing you a favor here. Quentin Tarantino.
Now, so it's okay.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty. Yeah, they kind of took away their own spoiler warning there. But Spider-Brand, I'm curious what you think. I know you saw this in theaters, but Quentin Tarantino said he loved Joker 2 and said that Todd Phillips is the Joker. Basically, in quote, I know it's a family show, but quote, He's saying F you to the movie audience. He's saying F you to Hollywood. He's saying F you to anyone who owns any stock at DC and WB, Warner Brothers. Todd Phillips is the Joker. Your reaction to that quote, Spider Brando?
I loved it. As soon as this is the perspective that I was introduced to after I saw the movie that made me appreciate it a little bit more and kind of like be like, oh wow, like I was one of the people that went into it expecting a different type of Joker after the first one, but realizing that we weren't getting that crime boss type Joker and putting this into perspective, it's pretty cool because you can make that relation between kind of Harley or Lady Gaga playing the audience role. Not going too much into spoilers, but throughout the movie, you can kind of see that she does react a lot of the ways that like many audience reviews or whatever critique the movie for, and like what we wanted to see out of the movie, and it was just like it kind of was like a big fu to the audience, which is funny to think about.
Hero, any thoughts on this?
First off, Nate, hello. If you guys don't know, friend of the channel, Twit Media Nate, follow him if you don't. But I kind of agree with what you're saying, Bay. It just feels like he made this for himself, and people are starting to realize that more and more. And I think Quentin Tarantino is the first one to come out and support that, because if you know Quentin Tarantino, he makes films that he wants to see, and sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad, depending on who you ask. I just think the big problem, and I can only say this as someone who hasn't seen Joker 2, has only heard the good and the bad between it, and hasn't seen it for himself, but it's not the fact that they went out of comic accuracy. I don't think anybody particularly cares about that. It's just, it feels like such a betrayal of what they were even setting up within the first film, from my understanding of the film. Yes, once you can read news articles that are like, hey, this is what the movie is supposed to be because the director wanted it to be that way, sure, but in a way that does ruin an experience, because if you don't go into that movie with that perspective, then you're not going to like it. And I think that's how a lot of people are. Spider-Brando, I think you said it yourself. You didn't care for this movie. It helps that you now understand what the intentions were, but I still don't think that makes the movie good.
Oh no, that's why I even said it like in my kind of reviews after, or my tweets after, when I was coming onto this side of Twitter after I saw the movie. I still stuck with that. It was just like its big problem was that it couldn't convey this message properly, or like the themes properly to make people enjoy it.
Exactly. And I've seen
Which hurts the movie.
people.
Sorry, forgot to add that.
It does, no, for sure. And I've heard people on social media come out and try to defend the movie, and they were like, hey, Joker 2 isn't as bad as you're making it out to be, which is fine. But I've heard a lot of people say, hey, even at the worst of this movie is just boring. And that's bad. If I go into a movie and it's just boring, and that's at what it is at its worst, then what am I getting out of it? You know? And Nate, I agree. It was setting it up. And even if he chose not to go down the route, right? Because I don't necessarily think Arthur's character wants to be the Joker. He's just thrust into it. And I think the sequel just should have been him exploring, or them exploring, what that meant, which is kind of what they did, but not really, from everybody's understanding of the movie. So, you know, despite it still being fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think we can all kind of agree that most critic websites right now don't particularly matter anymore. When it comes to films, to games, to most things, it's kind of the fan reception. That's what carries it and makes it really good or makes it really bad. So I don't know. Quentin Tarantino's a director first and foremost, and he always will be first. So
I like that.
I'll put it this way. I could have never expected this, but I'm more intrigued to watch the movie as kind of like a case study now of like how people feel about it and what people in the industry say about it and kind of what Todd Phillips did, you know, kind of looking at him as kind of the villain of the story in a lot of ways, because, you know, you kind of tie in like how he just really straight up denied DC Studios. He's denying the fans a character that's beloved and maybe an all-time great, and kind of moving away from the lore of what comic book movies are kind of about, which, again, is what the first one was kind of positioned as. And, you know, I think there's been a lot of misleading with this movie. So I think there is a curiosity, but I very well can see myself being uninterested throughout.
it almost, and I'm not coming after him, but it almost feels like Zack Snyder again, where, you know, it's come out in months prior that he's, you know, he was like, hey, I made Batman the way he is because I wanted to take the character and basically change or challenge people's perspectives. You know, they told me I can't make him kill, but I made him kill. Look at that.
What I just thought of? It's essentially like he wanted to do a movie on mental health, but framed it as a Joker movie. Because it was like it was good. It had some good stuff in there with like the badness of what like a bad mental can do to a person, but like you guys just said, it ripped out a lot of Joker elements that should have been there.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Todd Phillips, you got more time on the Point Through podcast than I expected you to get, bud. Good for you.
Yeah.
We talked more about the comment than we did about the movie. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, but if people are interested, you can now see it on digital, so don't worry.
Yeah, I'm not paying for it still, but just pirate the hell out of it. Just kidding. All right, boys and chat. We got a lot of MCU news to get to. It was a light week most places, but we have some couple things that we want to call out. We chatted a little bit kind of off screen in our Discord about a couple of these things. But before we jump into the 2025 MCU slate, a couple things we want to point out. Just get your thoughts on this. There's a rumor that's floating around out there about Marvel Studios reportedly pausing all projects to fast track to the end of the multiverse saga. Right now, only Spider-Man 4 and a mystery film will be released before the next Avengers movies. Everything else is on hold until after Secret Wars, which coincides from other leakers and industry insiders that have claimed a lot of sequel follow-up movies and shows will be pushed to after Secret Wars for a soft MCU reboot. Hero, we're going to go counterclockwise. I'm going to kick this to you. Is this a good idea or is this a bad idea?
I still don't really know how to feel about it necessarily, right? Because obviously the better thing would be to really let this breathe and feel better. But I think because of the quality of certain multiversal movies that have come out over the past year or two, I think people are kind of done with the multiverse as a concept. They're over it. And by the point that Avengers comes out, it'll be 2027. So that'll be what, 5-6-ish years of multiversal movies. So I think people will definitely be done with it by then. So in a way, it makes sense. I can see why they are doing this. It just sucks that it's going to be done in basically 4 films. You're going to have this giant ensemble cast that should be paid off better in 4 films, while also having a completely separate side of that universe happening on TV.
I love that addition. While on TV. It's so true.
Let him cook.
Spider Easy, how you feeling about the prospects of this fast track?
I agree with Hero. It's not. I mean, it would be cool to jump into kind of like a reboot to fresh out some more stories and stuff, but they're fast tracking and like they could tell these stories right now if they were to have just done all of this multiverse stuff properly. But I kind of like that they're admitting defeat and realizing that they set themselves up for failure, like we've discussed with so many different projects and how they're going to connect them all together. But it just sucks when knowing what could have been. I am excited for. I'm happy Spider-Man's going to be a big part of it, though. Can't lie.
Yeah, that is a good thing. And if you want our opinions on what's going to happen or what we think is going to happen on Spider-Man 4 and what the release date tells us, stay tuned to the channel because that will be coming out some point this weekend. We did talk about that already, just on a separate recording.
Perfect. Which leads us into our next point here. Although this is not a 2025 project, it's as close as you can get. For this entire kind of Disney Plus teaser that we got, if you guys haven't seen it, it's pretty good. We're going to be talking about some of those projects, but we did get a quick look at What If Season 3 in this quick look release. We're going to get that in December. Gents, are we excited for this?
Not really. What if season 2 didn't hook me that much as season 1 did? But I mean, knowing that this is the final season, I guess raises the bar a little bit more because like this is the final chance that we got to potentially get some crazy live action crossover or see where this is going if we do get the What If cast or universes in live action. Third time's a charm.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Season 2 kind of lost me a little bit, and I've talked about this before that I didn't particularly care for it, and it felt very rushed, especially with the way they tried to connect it all in the end. So it kind of feels like what potential story can you tell? Strange was kind of defeated already, and he kind of felt like he should have been your big series finale villain. So I don't know. I don't know. It could be good. Hopefully, we get more interesting and more out there what if scenarios like we did in season 2, just executed better. And I think them doing like the whole big mech Avengers one, that one seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it seems like, and a lot of people have kind of put the plot at essentially hinting that there's going to be some sort of special Avengers team that has to take down Gamma monsters. Don't know how cool that is, but you're going to have, Captain America, Moon Knight, Monica Rambeau, other characters we saw, like a Shang-Chi who's in a cowboy scene doing his thing. I don't know, guys. I'm not really prepping for What If Season 2. We were like, okay, this could be something like, let's go out of our way to do something extra for every episode. And we're like, whoa, did we waste time? I don't know. I think What If is always a reflection of the current state of the live action MCU storylines. And right now there is nothing. So it feels so disconnected and pointless that it's really, for me, I'm like, if I watch it, I watch it. If I don't, I don't. And the more I think about it, the more I think it's kind of cheap that they put Idrisil and Loki kind of at the very, very end of season 2 with Captain Marvel looking at it, just be like, hey, look, here's potential. We see this. It's the multiverse. And we're just like, no. Captain Captain Britain, Captain America, what am I calling it? Captain Carter. Dude, she's like literally the most OP character like in all of time in the
Yeah.
MCU, and like, well, no one's touching that.
Yeah. And I think that's the big problem, Minty, is that it's just too short. The first season worked well because it just kind of took what the MCU did and then switched it, which was good for a season 1. But then in season 2, you do kind of have to go beyond that, because now it's like, okay, we get that, we understand that, but I don't think people want to see that for every single movie, So I think a very good example actually is the Captain Carter episode, where I think the first Captain Carter episode is pretty cool. It's basically Captain America 1 switched. And the second one is basically Winter Soldier switched, but then it's also Black Widow. Did anyone really want to see a big old what if Black Widow? No, I don't think anybody really did. And I think that's why, as a whole, it fails, because then also, for example, I think the Iron Man on Sakaar episode is really boring. I don't like that episode.
Yeah.
So
I remember you hated that one because you had to review that for the short.
I did. I got stuck with that one too, and I was like, oh, yeah, no, it was just boring. It was really boring.
That's funny.
Like the Hello one, and you see, for example, a one that I think was good, the Hello one with the Wenwu, her getting the 10 rings. I think it's interesting enough because you're taking a villain who was never going to be put in that scenario, and you put them in there. You thrust them in there. The Mech Avengers were probably never going to get that in a big screen. That's why I think that works well, because you get the big out there crazy ones.
Yeah.
And Nate, I'm glad someone agrees with me out there.
No, I mean, I think about that though. I think that Helle episode with the 10 rings is cool, but now we're getting to a point where like the stories that they're going to be telling are going to give you information that like we never even got. Like anything with Moon Knight is new Moon Knight in the MCU. Like we don't have anything else with Moon Knight. So yeah, they're going to tell a new story, and that's cool. But the cool part about What If is you're taking existing pieces and kind of just wrapping them up. What if Hela got the 10 rings? Like that's pretty freaking cool concept, in my opinion. But like, what if Iron Man raced Mario Karts on Sakaar? Like, I mean, I don't know. Like someone hit him with a shell. Like, what are we doing? I don't care. Like, I don't care about that.
You see, and I had to look it up really, really quick just to see what was confirmed. They have so far confirmed the Big Mech one. There's one with Agatha with a musical number, according to Wikipedia. And I think I remember seeing something. Is it though? Is it? Then we got one that's a Red Guardian centered one that was supposed to come out last season. And then there's a Shang-Chi Western one that Lou you just talked about. So I hear these episodes so far. The only one that I'm remotely interested in is the mech one.
Okay. Quick question then for everyone in the chat and for Hero and Spider Brando. Would you rather have What If Season 3 for December, or would you rather have another live action holiday special from another team in the MCU doing Christmas things? Dang, that was quick, Spider Brando. That was good.
Hey, I got this stuff organized now.
Minty, this is life or death. You have to choose one.
I love me a holiday special, so I'm going holiday special. I think the Guardians 3 holiday special was one of these. That's very high in my MCU rankings. I don't care what anybody says. I thought that was so freaking cool and cute and just like heartwarming.
Yeah.
I think Nate brings a good one. X-Men Christmas special.
X-Men 97.
Dude, that
Ooh, that would go good. That would be cool.
That might be pretty cool.
Because and here's the thing, right? At the end of it, the animation has nothing to do with the MCU. We're not going to see, or let me not say never, because they might prove me wrong and in Brave New World bring out the Watcher. But I highly doubt we're I highly doubt we're ever gonna see the Watcher. Again, could be
Brave New World.
completely wrong. So why not just exactly bringing Santa as an Omega level mutant, have him fight Apocalypse. Have fun.
Some kid asked him for like
I mean, The Rock Johnson has
some super soldier serum, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Shoot, got it."
You got it, kid. Like that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Give me the
I'm down
Winter
with it.
Soldier hunting Santa. Give me a whole hour of that.
Yo, that would be so funny.
I'd be down. He just bumps
Yeah.
into random heroes along the way.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't care anymore. Let What If be done, and then let's not do it again.
We got to give a shout out to Minty's idea as well. For those, I mean, listen, upgrades, guys. Are we getting to the point where we're like, give us the MCU keys? Are we feeling that way?
Oh yeah.
We could do a whole. Yeah, we could do a whole episode on that.
We could, but guess what? We're gonna do a deep dive on a little bit of it because we got 9 MCU projects that are going to be releasing in 2025. We're not going to get anything in April, June, or November. However, we're going to take you down the list right now. Again, drop your comments and the thoughts. Feel free to answer the questions along with the Point 3 podcast. But gents, January, we have the animated Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which is debuting. Quick question on this one. Does this show do anything for the MCU Spider-Man? Does MCU Spider-Man gain anything from this animated series?
No. Not anymore, because this is definitely not that same freshman year prequel to the MCU Spider-Man that we're getting now. Yo, I said that the other day too. Marvel Rose said, "Yeah, we're scaling back content." Psych, got the wrong number.
When we make the standalone video for this, I'm going to find a clip of whatever episode it was that we talk about this, and I'm gonna date stamp it, and then we're gonna flash forward to October 30th, 2024.
Oh,
Here. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, I love that.
You made us wait for just. I love that. You made us wait for.
Wait.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Spider-Man, a legit question. If I were to tell you 2 or 3 years ago, bye North. If I were to tell you a few years ago, hey, the MCU is going to have an animated series, would you think that Tom Holland would voice Spider-Man? And this would be a
No.
tie-in? Really?
2 years ago? No, I don't think so.
Okay, is there any point where you thought that Tom Holland would voice an animated Spider-Man for an MCU Disney Plus specific show?
If it was after whenever I found out James Gunn's plans of crossing over animation and live action. Truthfully, I don't think I would have. Yeah,
2 months ago.
No, didn't he say that like a year ago? That was the point. He planned on doing those crossovers.
I think it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, dude, that was
around.
recent.
No, that was around the time that
it's
he
been
announced
around
the
for a
whole DCU stuff.
while. When he was announcing, yeah, well, when Creature Commandos was announced, that was like 2 years ago at this point.
I mean, he's followed up on like certain shows, but I remember people were talking about this when Gotham Knights came out.
Creatures Commando was going to be like that's the show that's going to be the crossover live action animation one.
Well,
dang, Hero, we have a video that I can send you by the Point 3 podcast if you want.
I was gonna say I'm gonna go look for that video, and when it's stamped,
that video.
yeah, when it's June of 2024, and it's us out here. Hey guys, did you know this is the future? I will be vindicated. To answer your earlier question, though, I think it does something for Spider-Man if they do it right. Just because based on our conversations for what we think might happen in Spider-Man 4 and kind of what we know about them kind of introducing a symbiote, and that being the origin of his powers, it could do something. And it could add to the world, for example, Harry and, you know, all his other classmates, seeing how he's been friends with Ned. I think it works. I think it works.
Yeah.
They just have to execute it right.
Yeah, I'll be very curious to see if this ties into the MCU Spider-Man we know, or if they swerve us and it's going to be completely out of left field with the Spider-Man that has nothing to do with the Spider-Man in the MCU.
Yeah.
And I think that would be like the biggest mistake you could possibly make for this show. Like, this has to tie in. Otherwise, in an already pointless show, you're going to have it.
I don't understand how it's going to tie in, though. The characters aren't like anyone. I mean, we know that there's no Harry in the MCU or Norman. I mean, that we've met yet. But you would think when he met Green Goblin in No Way Home, he would have recognized the name Norman Osborn.
But I think more from
just like story element wise, or
just certain story elements, like if they really keep this multiversal, but like pull in certain aspects of this to live action in a way that we were talking about with, you know, James Gunn and Creature Commandos, of like what happens in here might be the animated to live action touch that we all kind of speculated when Beyond the Spider-Verse was in play. Like something wacky happens, and next thing you know, like boom, we're in, some characters are in live action, or some characters are going to be MCU canon moving forward. I don't know
what you're putting down.
Yeah, but to your point, Nate, that's really why to me it makes no sense. Like, this is a pointless show on the surface. They have to win me over on it. But
well, I mean, so are a lot of these other series that they're going to be releasing later on. So
yeah. In February, as a sweet follow-up, if you weren't hyped for your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, buckle up, baby, because in February you got Captain America: Brave New World. Hero, I'm going to throw this over to you. Do you think that this movie should be released in February? And if you don't, where would you put it?
No, I do. It's 100% a good choice. Black History Month, you get, you know, your Black Captain America. It just makes sense. The only thing I would have say is that this should have came out last year or this year, to be honest. Like, Sam Wilson should be on our screens more often. So yeah, I'd move it back if I could make it go back in time. But I think February is its best choice.
Yeah. Sweater Brando?
I think it's fitting for February release. What was I gonna say? Just like Hero said. I'm sorry. I was adding some banners. I can't lie. I'm addicted to the banners. But like Hero said, Black History Month, great fitting for the introduction of the new Captain America. And let's get that movie out the way to lead into Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four.
Yeah, sorry, Minty. I don't mean to overconnect things, but I gotta say, I think I would push this one back. I don't think that, you know, based on kind of some historical MCU things, I don't know how connected this is going to be. We have no inkling that this is going to start a new Avengers team or Sam is going to lead that team. I think there's a lot of assumptions that are around the character that Sam Wilson's playing, but I think you move this back and you move it closer towards Spider-Man 4 or even Doomsday and have this kind of be the lead up to it. Only reason why I would say that, and this is my only defense, it's going to make, if you push this movie back towards bigger like Avengers level events, Sam is going to be top of mind. And I think right now he's the forgotten character that's supposed to be positioned as a pseudo de facto leader of an Avengers group when he's really nothing at this point. Maybe that changes after this movie, and that's why they're getting it out of the way. I just don't think that they're going to bridge the gap to anything. It's been what, 4 years since
Yeah.
last time we saw him, and he hasn't appeared in crap since. I'd rather keep him top of mind, closer to a bigger movie.
I mean, yeah, and that makes sense, but I think that's more of a grander MCU problem than a Brave New World problem. Like, I genuinely think Brave New World should have been out closer to Cap and Winter Soldier, because that way, like you said, he's top of mind. You ideally have a year and a half to 2 max year gap between his appearances. That way people can see him again, and then you have him appear in something else, or you have another movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why it's like, if you put it honestly, I genuinely think if you were to put him closer to Avengers, people would realize, oh, this is the movie that we don't need to care about.
Yeah, no, I see those points. I just think moving it up, knowing that there really is no plan for him, I just feel like he'd be even more forgotten. You know what I mean? Like, whatever events come from this, and like, oh, the world's broken, we need heroes and Avengers. Oh shoot, guess what? The entire multiverse is broken. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to piece together like anything I can for this. I still will be honest. My alternative is just really, why do we need this movie? That's my thing. Like, what is the point of having a movie like this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see in February.
We'll see, but couple months, and just a month after that, we have what is highly regarded as the most anticipated Disney Plus show probably since Loki season 2, and for certain people, Agatha, Daredevil, Born Again. Finally will be debuting on Disney Plus in March. Spider Brando, lay out how you would use Daredevil in this series and which non-Avenger movie he should appear in afterwards.
Oh, I'm gonna answer the latter first, because that's just immediate spitball. Spider-Man freaking 4. Give me that Daredevil Spider-Man crossover before that movie goes so multiversal. Hopefully it doesn't go crazy multiversal, but I want to see especially a Destin Daniel Cretton directed movie with like Spider-Man and Daredevil potentially teaching Spider-Man the ropes of fist fighting or whatever. Oh my god. Their Spidey sense and his his radar. I don't know what Daredevil's power thing is called officially. But his extraordinary senses would go crazy to just see them combat once with each other. And I want to see throughout Daredevil kind of be that savior of the streets of New York City, while Spider-Man was out there doing Avengers type stuff, and kind of him gaining some nice intel into the streets so that when they eventually do meet up, it's like a great crossover for a nice street level bunch of fighting and running around New York City.
Hero?
So I agree with something that
Location, that's what it was.
Yeah. No, I agree, Lou, with something you said last week on the live stream about how they should really focus on what brands of justice are between all the characters. And based on the little snippet we got, it kind of seems like that's what they're going to do, where people are kind of looking at Matt Murdock one way, and then people are going to look at Daredevil another way. And I think that's really interesting, and that's what they should do. They should kind of really make you question if you really want the vigilantes and if you want the heroes, and make you question, do they do more good or do they do more harm? Because you have the vigilantes doing good, there's people who are now inclined to do the bad, and you have characters like Muse, who is this hyper violent serial killer. It's a very good premise, I think, if that's what they're going with, and I hope they're going with that. Non-Avengers movie, I agree. Spider-Man 4, I think, is kind of the best case scenario, just because I think you could dedicate the most time to him there.
No, I echolocation that. I think that's pretty good for Spider-Man 4. Um, in this, I mean, I hope that that dynamic, like, I hate saying this, and no, this isn't a bandwagon thing. We've been talking about this for a while. Um, I think the underrated piece of this is, everyone's like, Kingpin is going to be the Thanos of the streets. And everyone's like, yo, wait until you watch Penguin because it's going to be ridiculous when Oz takes over. Well, one so far has really overachieved, and the other is TBD. But the stronger Kingpin is in this, I think the stronger Daredevil is going to be in this. And I really want to see Daredevil be that character that like matches Muse more so than matches Kingpin. Whereas Matt Murdock opposes Kingpin, Daredevil's brutality matches the viciousness and just how insane Muse will be in this. And I think it's really going to come down to like how far is he willing to go, especially when he crosses paths with like a Bullseye and those types of people who are like, hey man, like, is the Punisher going to be that angel or devil on his, shoulder who's like, do it? And then you got another character who's like, no, you don't need to do it. Foggy and Karen, you know what I mean? Like, go back to how we felt during the Netflix series and then beef up the hallway scenes and just give us the best everything that you possibly can. Because I think a lot of people are hanging their hat on this is like, please save me, Marvel. Like, give me something that I can hang on to for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Daredevil obviously is a big one. Thunderbolts, asterisk, is coming out in May. Here, I'm going to flip it back to you. What's going to be the most satisfying outcome for fans with this movie?
I'll be honest, we've had this question up, and I still don't know. It's one of those things where it's like I really don't know what to expect, or not what to expect because we have an idea, but more so how to feel happy with it. I think from a personal standpoint, and this is very personal, but it's mainly because of the adventure that we've had with the Sentry character through finding out his history. I think if they do Sentry right, I will be happy for the movie. I think that's kind of the thing that clears it for me. And if you somehow tie this into a Red Hulk, the US government at large, and you keep kind of tying that side of the MCU, then I think that's the best thing you can do. So it's not a high bar that they have to clear, to be honest.
No, fair enough. Spider-Man now.
I've been thinking long and hard about this one too, and I think I would be satisfied with Thunderbolts asterisks if they give me a good reason why they provided the star for 8 months of the movie, or I don't know, more than 8 months or not, or whatever. When I don't know when they did that asterisk thing.
It was during that one con that everybody was supposed to know about.
CinemaCon.
Mm-hmm.
So 12. Oh yeah, that's over a year. That's over 8 months. Anyways, I need the asterisk to be a good meaning to be satisfied with this movie. If it's anything to do with that one rumor that we heard of it being related to Yelena's soccer team, I'm gonna cry in my bed and reap my tears.
No, this one's short and sweet for me. I think best case scenario for fans is by the end of this, we get the announcement of a new Avengers team. I think that's kind of, we thought this was going to be the team. Feige's always mentioned, hey, we have the Thunderbolts since we don't have the, the Avengers when he's kind of setting up, the phase 4 and, previous D23 announcements. But this walking away, giving fans a team that they can actually kind of use to theory craft and speculate with, I think will do wonders. They'll most likely keep whoever stays alive and gets carried over. Core characters, expect your Buckies, expect your Yelenas, Peace Out, Red Guardian, Ghost No One Likes, Taskmaster, TBD, but you keep the 2 or 3 faces and carry them over, I think people will be fine. I don't think many people are expecting much from this. Nate, we got a good quote here. Oh, writes down pen and paper. Yeah, just that Mark. That's that Mark Cuban
I
joke.
was like, write that down, reshoot.
Oh, very good, very good. Okay. Moving on. July, the month of Spider Brando.
Damn
Fantastic
right.
Four. They're giving you're eating good. Fantastic Four, first steps. Spider Brando, you are first up. What is the best way for this movie to move the MCU forward?
Ooh. We need a glimpse into. We need a big, not big, but we need a good Doom introduction in this movie, in my opinion. And if it's happened, it's got to be like an extended post-credit scene. If it were to be just like a post-credit scene, but I'm hoping that's not the case, and that he gets a proper introduction throughout the whole movie, or at least half or the later half of the movie. But you need that to set up Doomsday essentially, because looking at the rest of the calendar and into 2026, Fantastic Four is the last big movie they have before Doomsday, I think. Unless there's a early 2026 MCU movie before May that I can't think of.
You talking about Blade? I'm just kidding.
Oh well, yeah.
Too soon.
Oh man.
It's only gonna be one Blade. Which actually fine. Deadpool and Wolverine streaming November 12th, I believe. Quick MCU news.
It's gonna be my new nighttime movie. I'm watching it every night.
Dude, I'm gonna just play that on repeat every freaking day.
All day. Yeah, all day. Carry on.
But yeah, it needs to set up the Doom. It needs to set up Doomsday essentially, because it's like it's the last movie. I believe it's the last movie before Doomsday comes out. So more than a post-credit scene, and would also like if it explained maybe Galactus. If Galactus moves into the 616 would be pretty cool, but devastating, obviously.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think as long as you make a proper introduction of the characters, that's enough. I think you could maybe save the big connection for your Doomsday. Or not connection, but connection of their universe into the main MCU. Kind of what Minty's saying. That way you don't have that. You don't have the whole, oh, well, you need to watch this because that sets up that. At the same time, though, it is the MCU. It's a big cinematic universe, so it is kind of necessary. You do kind of have to do it. So, especially this late into the game where they decided to introduce Fantastic Four and a Doomsday and a Galactus, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
So I think kind of like what SB's saying, just have them connect at some point and it be a good introduction to all those characters.
Yeah. Yeah, this one, I mean, Minty, you have a really good point, because I think we were just talking about this with Penguin not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, where it's like you can watch it and enjoy it, but it's not necessarily a prerequisite to have watched the Batman. But if you did watch the Batman and then you picked up Penguin, you get a plus and there's a payoff and a benefit for those that kind of followed through with it, which I think is the way that a lot of these bigger franchises are moving, where each is going to have self-contained standalone value. But I think at this point, though, it would feel really odd if Fantastic Four did not set up Doom, which is a part of the first big Avengers movie, Doomsday. For me, I just think that's an automatic of like, okay, well, what's Doom's origin point? Because like Thanos, yes, Infinity War was a good movie regardless, and people watched that. The film itself was good. However, you were elevated because you had a stupid amount of information on every character already going into the movie. So it was a big deal when Thanos first showed up and Spider-Man and the team's fit and like the dynamics, and you could tell a story without having to tell the story because we had that information. So from this perspective, I really don't see how Fantastic Four First Steps does not include Doom. And Doom in and of himself will be what catapults this MCU story forward. I don't know, guys. There's something that makes me really nervous about the way that they're handling RDJ as Doom and how the Fantastic Four really will have existed and feels so separate. So for me, I'm kind of on the opposite side of this. I think it'll be cool, but how much can you really cram in to these movies before people get too lost when other characters start to show up, which will obviously happen?
And you see, that's kind of the thing that Infinity War does still. That's probably, if you're someone who's never watched the MCU or, you know, any Marvel movie, and the first movie you show them is Infinity War, I don't think they like Infinity War as much as other people would.
Yeah.
Regardless of if they've seen other ones or not. Because honestly, if you haven't watched Guardians of the Galaxy, you don't care about them showing up. You don't care that Thanos kills Gamora because she's this character you saw for all of 20 minutes in the movie, and then she's dead. You know, you don't care about Black Panther if you don't watch Black Panther. You don't care about his story. You don't care about Vision and Wanda. Why is Captain America by himself? Why is he not friends with Iron Man? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Not necessarily, because Doom can kill someone, and that makes you. The point here is that it doesn't necessarily have to be the setup heavy thing, right? It's kind of what you're saying is, yes, you can make it work on its own, but Infinity War, I don't think, is a good example of that because it's too much setup. Infinity War had way too much setup. It works still, but it's its own beast, and I don't think will ever be replicated.
Yeah, no. Just to add to that, I mean, the payoff piece again for Infinity War is you went through almost a decade of the MCU to see kind of for the first time, like they all got together. You know what I mean? So at this point, they're speed running a trilogy and a brand new saga level villain that just he doesn't have any run. So you're getting movie to guy, and I think that's where the RDJ piece comes in. Like, you know what he's about, right? And we're like, yeah. And like, okay, we don't have to fill in those gaps.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, sadly. Okay, so we have August, September, October, December. 2 of those are animated films. We get 2 more Disney Plus films. We're going to quickly hit August and October. We have Eyes of Wakanda in August, and we have Marvel Zombies in October. Gents, quickly, real quick question about Eyes of Wakanda. What's up?
I forgot about September.
Oh no, I'm lumping the animated together.
Oh, I completely missed that part. Then
You're gonna have to rewatch the episode.
Oops. I don't know where my brain went. I don't know where my brain went.
No. You're good. You're good. Real quick question: Eyes of Wakanda. If there was another MCU god that appeared in an episode, who would you want to see, and why would they be a good addition there?
This one's hard,
Right?
because it's like, who do you include that would make thematic sense?
Yeah.
I think the only one you could do is Bast, but that's it. Give us more Bast.
Kratos.
Oh God, SB, you're gonna get us called fake fans. Stop.
Kidding.
No, you know what? I really think that this would be cool if they went back and kind of explored a little bit more of that like lore of Talokan and just went through and talked about maybe some of those gods for Namor and all that kind of stuff. I thought
thinking
that
about that too.
That'd be cool.
just something a little subtle, maybe touch on, some Egyptian gods, just little things that like
Oh
I think they're
yeah.
subtle, but if you go back to every story that has some sort of tie into like a god that, delivers power, I think it would be kind of cool.
Khonshu?
Conchu
Maybe
would be
some Khonshu.
cool.
That'd be. I like that.
I'd be down for that. I'd be down. I don't know. But Marvel Zombies, we kind of know that's going to be its thing. But real quick, September, Spider-Brandon, this is for you. 30 seconds. Make a case for how this could be the best Disney Plus show of all time. And go.
Oh.
Your time's running out.
It's gotta have
20 seconds.
Riri.
Title character.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how.
It's
I
gotta
don't
have
know.
Title character.
You can't make this show the best of all time.
No, this
There's
show.
there's no case. I just can't see. I don't know. Riri hits it gritty, and then boom, it's the best movie of all time.
All right, we'll just play Ironheart and Fortnite.
I will say that
4K
white,
shaders on it. Oh my god, this is the MCU.
the white armor they showed off in that little reel did look pretty cool. I'll give them that. Other than that, I don't care about this show.
I don't think there's any world or multiverse where this show could be the best of all time. RDJ's Doom. All right, moving on to the final 2025 release. We have December, Wonder Man. Hero, I'm kicking it back to you. Do you see them connecting Wonder Man to Vision or Wanda's storyline in the MCU?
No.
Dude, the internet is blazing about this. The amount of posts and edits that I've seen in like hours, I'm like,
it's crazy.
Guys, what are you doing? Like, we're too late.
Absolutely wild how many people think it's going to happen. But no, they absolutely are not going to. However, if they somehow make me eat my words, it would probably connect closer to Vision than Wanda. I think Wanda's kind of her own separate side of the MCU now with the magic and everything, and I don't think she will come down to something like Wonder Man. As crazy as that is to say, that I feel like Wonder Man is too much of a downgrade for her character now. But Vision, I think they could connect his story to Vision pretty well if they go that route.
Okay. Curveball on the fly edit. What if it's a multiversal Wanda?
No.
Oh, no love war with Doom and Wonder Man over Wanda?
No, don't do that. Don't stop. Listen, it's a shock that they even showed this series. I when I opened up my phone during my first break this morning and I saw that Wonder Man, we got a first look at Wonder Man.
What a font. What a font. I feel like they're like, guys, it's December. We ran out of budget. And they're like, take the Thunderbolts yellow, put it on a basic font, call it Wonder Man. And they're like,
yeah.
All right.
Take the asterisk off.
Yeah. Take the asterisk off. Maybe that's what Thunderbolts is actually called. It's Wonder Man.
Wonder Man.
Oh, Wonder Man. Oh God, it's just gonna change into Wonder Man.
That's it.
No Wonderbolts.
Wonderbolts.
Wonderbolts? Did you say Wonderbolts?
He did.
Dude, I don't know why I heard Wonder Boy and then I was like Wonder Boy Jr. I just went down a name rabbit hole.
No, dude, I don't know why Wonderbolts is so funny to me. My immediate first thought was Wonder Pets, and then I just
Wonder Pets. Yeah, no, I'm shocked that we're still getting this, to be quite honest. Yeah. But here's what I will say. In the spirit of being positive, the actor, Yahya Abdul, very good actor. Very, very good actor in the things I've seen him in. Black Manta, love him. I think he can pull off Wonder Man if they give it the right story. And I think Wonder Man could work in the right setting. The only thing is I don't know if it will get the chance to in a very, very busy year. Especially it coming out at the end of it. I think if it came out probably that January, that first half of the year, then I think people might give it more of a shot. It coming out in December, I think, really kills the momentum.
Yeah. I don't disagree with any of that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think this probably.
Daniel Craig direct this show? Ooh.
Listen, I think Wonder Man could be really cool, but then this is another one of those like it's great but too late type of things, and I feel like this is going to get pushed into 2026 and or just indefinitely.
Yeah.
Especially if it does tie into like Vision Quest, whatever they want to call it. To me, it makes it seem like this is going to be extremely standalone, and to that point, like She-Hulk, to where you think that this character may show up, and it's like no, there's really no room. And Feige makes a comment where there's potential for characters, but when they get their time, they get their time. But that's it, though. I mean, that's a pretty good slate of things that were announced for 2025, and everyone's kind of eating almost every month. Sucks DCU is going to be better, but
Yeah. It's honestly insane because it just felt like such a random day for them to really be like, hey, here's everything coming out.
Dude, I don't know. I'm sorry. Last thing I have to say to this is like, why can't they just build up and make these announcements and things feel like an event again? Like you're doing it. Why can't you have us anticipating it and be like, oh, you know what? I am going to go to the website and I am going to watch you release these and I am going to listen to someone talk about these for 10 minutes at least. But they're just like, here you go. Happy Valentine's Day. Here's a Fantastic Four.
It's what they're doing with Born Again. They're doing a good job of this with Born Again, where they're constantly drip feeding you information for you to get excited. But all these other ones just got thrown out to just kind of be presented.
I first got introduced to this slate on Twitter because my first tweet for it was like, OMG, someone leaked the Marvel TV trailer, or like this like Marvel TV slate trailer or whatever. And then like I saw like the HD version of it like right after, which was pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's just so weird that like they just freaking scheduled these things out and build hype, like you said. I would love to set like a countdown for a certain time to be ready for a freaking TV slate, or even if it's something small like that.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people that would do that.
Yeah.
And make it feel a little more special. A little more special. Feels a little devalued. They're just like, here.
Hey, I called this though. Did I not say when we were planning the other day that's like, oh no, I bet Marvel's unless Marvel randomly drops some crazy release dates.
Bro.
They did.
It's a Spider Brando 1-800 random Marvel. He called him.
Yeah.
So I guess stay on point with point 3.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, what are you doing if you're not, But that's our live stream. Let us know how you're feeling about all 9 of these projects for next year. I will say, despite us being a little more hesitant about it, and some obviously being for us and some that won't be, it's still cool that we're getting Marvel content.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're on a drought right now since after Agatha, we don't have anything till January, so it's going to be a little bit before. But
skipping season 3, you forgot already?
Oh, sure, right. I did. JK, we have a month. Don't worry, we'll be fine. I absolutely 100% forgot about What If. I'll be completely honest. Sorry, What If. I'm sorry. Sorry, watcher. Don't come for me. But still, if you're excited, let us know. If you're not, also let us know. Right? Boom. Hit him again. One more time.
Spider Brando, you got to. Let's do it because we missed you the other day, Hero, on this one. We needed to, but
what did I do?
Yeah. There we go. There we go. Bam. But everybody in the chat, thank you so much. If you watch this live or if you are watching this after the fact, thank you so much. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. For those of you who are live with us, Spider Brando hopping onto Discord to watch the final 2 episodes of Agatha all along. So hop in for an impromptu little show night, not a movie night, show night. But everybody, thanks once again. Make sure you subscribe to us here on the YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitch, all those wonderful things. Thank you, each and every one of us, for choosing to spend your Wednesday night with us. We really, really appreciate it. But until the next Wednesday live stream, 3 very, very important things that you need to do. You need to keep watching, you need to keep reading, and you need to keep nerding out. We will see you next time. Have a great night.